Whispers of the night. The town of Miller's Grove had always taken pride in its picturesque beauty, lush green hills, a sparkling river winding through the valley, and a sky that seemed to stretch endlessly. But the peaceful facade masked a chilling mystery that lingered like morning fog. The tales of the Mothman never seemed to fade, no matter how often Emma Carter tried to bury them in the back of her mind. Emma was 16, spirited with dark hair that fell in waves around her shoulders. She could usually be found in the library, surrounded by stacks of dusty novels, devouring every ghost story she could find. However, this obsession also made her reaction to the whispers about the Mothman more skeptical than fearful. Local legends told of a creature with enormous wings and bright red eyes that appeared before disasters, a harbinger of doom that tormented anyone who dared to speak its name. It was early October, right before Halloween, when Emma made her fateful decision. A group of her friends, Zoe, Jake, and Liam, joked about going to the abandoned Haverford Mill at the edge of town, a popular site for ghost stories due to its crumbling bricks and the tales of its tragic past. They debated whether or not they might encounter the Mothman, since the mill had been a place where several townsfolk claimed to have seen its shadowy figure flitting through the trees. "Come on, Em. It'll be fun," Zoe urged, her green eyes sparkling with mischief. "And besides, we'll have our phones on us. What's the worst that could happen?" Emma felt a thrill of excitement against the gnawing fear. "Fine," she relented, her heart racing. The friends texted each other all weekend, exchanging stories and eerie references to the Mothman, stoking the flames of anticipation. On the night of their adventure, bathed in the silvery glow of a full moon, they ventured down the winding trail leading to Haverford Mill. A chill hung in the air, like a premonition of something lurking nearby. As they approached the eerie structure, the moon cast long shadows, and the creaking sound of the abandoned mill echoed ominously. "Remember, whatever you do, don't mention the Mothman," Liam warned, playfully pushing Emma. She laughed nervously, ignoring the uneasy feeling at the base of her spine. Inside, the dusty remnants of the bygone era surrounded them. Their flashlight beams danced along the walls, illuminating ratty old machinery and shattered windows. Emma could feel the weight of history pressing down on them. They took turns sharing their favorite ghost stories, but each tale seemed to raise the unspoken tension. Then, as Jake explored a flimsy stairway, a series of clinks drew their attention. "Hey, guys, you have to see this," he called, the excitement in his voice tinged with something darker. They hurried to his side, and there they found a small, weathered box. Inside lay scraps of newspaper, yellowing from age, detailing unexplained sightings throughout the years. Each incident seemed to coincide with catastrophic events in town. Suddenly, the lights flickered. Liam's voice trembled. "Did you hear that?" Outside, a rush of wind swept through the trees. The friends exchanged worried glances. "Maybe we should go," Emma suggested, unnerved. But as they started to head back, the air thickened. A piercing shriek echoed, and Jake shouted, "What was that?" Their hearts raced, and they bolted to the mill's entrance, but the world outside transformed. Shadows darted across the periphery, and in the distance, an ominous figure appeared. It was there, the Mothman. Its wings seemed to stretch impossibly wide, framed against the moon, its eyes catching the light with a feral glow. Terrified, they cascaded down the steps and rushed into the woods, disoriented by the twisting paths. The air wrapped around them like a vice. Branches clawed at their skin as they ran, all the while the horrible shape followed, silent yet menacing. Panting and desperate, Emma glanced back towards the dark woods. It was then she felt the tugging sensation in her mind. Whispers of despair, echoes of past tragedies, their soft, enticing chaos made her hesitate. "Emma," Zoe shouted, her panic snapping her out of the trance. That snapping moment of clarity delivered her back to the present, and they pressed on, urging each other towards safety. Bursting from the tree line, they reached a clearing where their breaths mingled with the lingering mist. They regained their footing and frantically turned to check if the creature had pursued them. In that moment, with the moonlight cascading down, they found solace. But as they glanced at the woods behind them, the air felt heavier, laden with sorrow. It was then Emma understood. The legends were real, and Mothman was not merely a creature but the embodiment of grief, warning a world that refused to listen. That night changed them forever. The lore of the Mothman became clearer. Sightings often preceded tragedies, not merely as a herald of doom but as a reminder of the consequences of neglect and despair. Emma and her friends never spoke of their experience again, but fear lingered whenever the winds howled through Miller's Grove. They were haunted now, not by the Mothman alone but by the understanding of how easily darkness could creep into even the brightest lives.